Hello. I'm Haley, and this is Taya, and welcome to Haley and Taya Rip Up Supernatural to start over, and also sometimes talk about other stuff, a podcast.
Also known as HATRUSA, and this week we are talking about Season 1, Episode 6, Skin. Skin. It originally aired in October 18th of 2005, which we can still tell by the fashion, and it's gross.
It's not good. It's not a good one.
I wouldn't say it's the worst one, but it's a gross one. It's gross.
Yeah, so...
If you haven't seen this episode and you don't like body horror, I might skip this one.
Yeah, please skip this one if you don't like body horror or just gross things. Basically...
If you don't like teeth, if you don't like nails.
If you don't like seeing teeth fall out of a face.
If you don't like seeing nails fall out of a hand.
It's not... yeah, just please take care of yourself.
Yeah, I would say that the main takeaway from this episode is just Sam shouldn't have non-hunter friends, and Dean is now hunted by authorities, but also the authorities think he's dead.
Yeah. So, basically, quickest summary ever.
Summary?
What?
Quick summary?
Quick summary is that Sam's friends from college, one of them is being accused of murder.
Oh, arrested for
murder.
Of his girlfriend.
Arrested and accused. He's like, but I didn't do it, and...
But he never actually shows up in the episode.
Yeah, he's never in the episode. And Dean's like, Sam, I don't think this is our kind of thing. And Sam is like, I think it is. Which is basically, I think, how every early episode goes. But anyway.
Yeah. It's essentially, it boils down to his sister, his friend's name is Zach. The sister's name is Becky. Becky had been drinking with Zach until midnight, and there is security footage that the police have of Zach entering his apartment to murder his girlfriend around 10:30. So unless he could have been in two places at once, it couldn't have been him.
Right.
So that's basically what they're going off of. That they go onto the crime scene, and they find a lot of fun blood splatters that I have a lot of questions about.
Yeah.
Then they're doing some exploring, and then they find out about another dude who tried to murder his wife in a very similar fashion. Tied up, gagged, blood everywhere.
Tortured, the good stuff.
Yeah. And Sam had been following this because he, I don't know, found blood on, the street, weird. And then they found an ambulance and followed it and whatever. But basically, that guy, they hear from a police officer that supposedly he had been driving back from a business trip at the same time that he was supposedly trying to kill his wife.
Right.
So how could he be in two places at once? But then they find, a sewer grate, and there's, steam coming up from it, and I don't actually remember why they decided to go down. Did they see something?
I think Dean was just like, we need to look other places. We need to look down or something like that. I don't really remember.
They kind of just decided to go into the sewer, and I'm pretty sure manhole covers are super heavy.
They're super fucking heavy, and there's no reason that they should have been able to lift.
It's fine. It's fine. So they drop down into it, and they find gross piles of skin.
Oh, there's a bloody trail that went down the manhole sewer.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you for checking that.
No problem.
They find gross piles of skin, which is gross, and are like, shit, well, yeah, because they had already figured out that this was
a shapeshifter of some form.
A shapeshifter of some sort, and the episode does not go further than calling it a shapeshifter. It is just a shapeshifter. Specifically, they call this one the serial killer shapeshifter, which is very uncreative.
It's very good, actually.
Okay. And so they go down, and the shapeshifter appears behind Dean and scared the shit out of me, and did something to Dean's arm that I can't figure out what he did, if he scratched him or bit him or cut him. It did something to Dean's shoulder, and is that when Sam gets knocked out?
Sam gets knocked out.
No, they get away, don't they?
Yeah, because but they get away. They get away, but it's not actually Dean. It's Sam. I mean, it's...
Yeah, they get away, and
Sam.
You think it's fine. But then, when they're, like, crossing the street or something, like, Dean's eyes flash, and you're like, oh, fuck, that isn't actually Dean.
Correct.
And Sam tries to contact Becky again, and Becky's like, no, you might have fucked up my brother's whole case because you brought us to a closed crime scene, which, girl, you should have known that was a closed crime scene. And also, we forgot to mention Dean was pretending to be a cop, because of course he was.
Yeah, and also, like, not only should you have known that it was a closed crime scene, but you made the, like, a decision. Sam was like, maybe you should stay out, and she was like, no, I'm coming in. Like, stupid.
Yeah. I guess they find more blood. I'm on the wiki page, because I've already forgotten the order of things happening.
That's fine.
And they're at the car. They were separated, they reunited at the car, and Sam, like, immediately suspects that it's the shapeshifter. And Sam does try to attack it, but can't pull the trigger, so he gets knocked out and taken prisoner.
Yeah.
So he's unconscious, and the shapeshifter has, like, access to Dean's memories for some reason, and gets really mad at Sam, like, he's like, oh, man, he hates you because, like, you got to go off to go to college. I was like, Dean, you could have left.
Yeah.
Like, after Sam left, like, here's the thing. If he was staying with John because of Sam, once Sam left, Dean also could have left. He actively chose not to stay. That is not on Sam. Anyway, Sam's now tied up.
Sam's tied up, and Dean is also tied up, but in a slightly different area, and the shapeshifter leaves, and Dean is like, Sam, is that you? And Sam's like, yeah, and Dean is like, haha, he chose the handsome one to go. Sam's like, he walked away wearing your face, and then Dean is like, well, he's smart, he chose the handsome one.
I just remembered why, because I said Sam immediately knows why the shapeshifter, like, is the shapeshifter, and it's because when the shapeshifter, like, did whatever it does to get the skin, which is still completely unclear to me.
Yeah, no, we don't get a clarification.
I have no clue. He injured Dean's shoulder, and Dean caught the keys with his injured arm. So that's how Sam knows, except I will say, throughout the rest of the episode, Dean's shoulder is fucking fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, they go back because Becky thinks she's with Dean, who has been telling her all about, like, hunting and everything like that, and she's like, so there's, like, a shapeshifter, and he's like, maybe, like, there's a human who's just, like, a little bit different and kind of a freak and just wants to be accepted or something, and she's like, I gotta
you can go
He, like,
now.
starts putting, like, the moves on him, and she's like, I really don't want to, and he, like, leans in and whispers something to her, and she freaks out. So, like, what the fuck did he say? And she's like, you have to go, you have to get out of here, you have to go. So then she gets caught up, obviously. Then a SWAT team unit arrives. I don't know how the SWAT team unit knows to arrive.
No idea.
We don't see anyone place a call.
I think my guess is that it was Sam after Dean was like, you're gonna put an APB out on me?
Yeah. The shapeshifter gets away and drops Dean's skin, which is the gross scene. It's
gross,
the
it's worst bad. Scene that I've ever had to sit through in my entire life.
Yeah.
And when I was 4, I had to watch The Fly. It's very, very bad.
And it's not even that the special effects are bad, because it looks like they're all very practical special effects, because, like, when this TV show uses, like, computer-generated special effects, they look pretty shitty. These ones all looked pretty practical, so, like, they didn't look bad, but they were just absolutely disgusting.
It was very gross.
Dean goes back to see... No. Sam goes back to see Becky.
Right.
And then Dean, because they, like, split up again for some reason.
Because they're smart.
You know?
Oh, no, it's because...
Oh, wait, no, they go back to the Impala.
Sam wants to check on Becky.
Show up.
And Dean...
No.
Oh, yes, right.
They go... we just watched this episode.
We literally just watched this.
Like, we literally, like, we took maybe, like, a 15-minute break. This is so embarrassing.
Today's been a lot.
Okay, so, it's... For anyone curious, we are recording this on the 6th, and if you're in the United States, you know that's a lot. If you're not in the United States, you probably know it's a lot. Anyway, they go... basically, the shapeshifter took the car, the Impala.
Yes.
So,
they took baby.
So they go back to Becky's to get the car, and, like, a bunch of police around them. Sam basically tells them go because they can't detain him on anything. They don't have anything on Sam. What they have is on Dean. So Dean hops the fence and runs away, and Dean just says, meet me at Becky's, or, like, something like that. So Dean goes back to No. Sam goes back to Becky's. Dean goes back to the shapeshifter's lair.
Even though Sam told him not to.
And in the shapeshifter's lair, Dean finds Becky tied up, just, like, with a tarp thrown over her.
Yeah, she's just, like, under a little blankie.
Yeah, like, this shapeshifter just puts, like, tarps over people, but it doesn't, like, tie the tarps. It just, like...
drapes it over
it. It's kind of funny. Anyway, they're like, holy shit, now Sam is alone with the shapeshifter because the shapeshifter has taken on Becky. And so the shapeshifter smashes a bottle over Sam's head, and when Sam regains consciousness, it looks like Dean again, and the shapeshifter is like, I'm gonna miss this skin. And I'm like, I don't understand because you're reusing it. Like, what do you mean? Why can you only sometimes access? Make your lore make sense.
Right.
But anyway, Dean shows up, and after they destroy, like, all of Becky's furniture, and Dean shoots it in the heart and takes back his necklace, and Becky is like, so this is what you do? Because now everything is fine. And Sam is like, yep, this is what I do. And she's like, and no one knows about it? And he's like, no one knows about it. And she's like, okay, so will we hear from you again? Like, please call, we miss you. And he's like,
probably not. Bye.
Probably not. Bye. And then Dean is like, so what's going to happen to Zach? Sam's like, well, they're saying it's this Dean Winchester guy. I think those security tapes they found might have been tampered with after all, because, like, they found, like, Zach's clothes with, like, blood in his lair and whatnot. But it's, like, good news because they found Dean Winchester's dead body, so...
yeah.
You know how it is. And they leave, and Dean talks about missing his own funeral. Which they're not going to hold a funeral. I think they're just going to toss your body in the ground because you were a serial killer.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have any family to, like, come claim that body.
Yeah, your mom's dead and your dad's missing.
And Sam knows it's not you. Though I am curious, like, how long that skin is going to stay on now that it's dead. Like, is some, like, poor mortician going to, like, open up, like, the body bag and be like, what the fuck is this pile of goo?
God.
We don't know.
But it's fine.
But that's the episode.
Our death count for this episode is, I believe, 2, being the girlfriend who was murdered in the beginning, and the shapeshifter. That's it.
Yeah, if we're counting the shapeshifter, and I don't know if we are. This is the beginning of the police are a little bit more onto the Winchesters than before. I feel like they've gotten caught pretty much every episode because they're idiots.
But this is the first episode where they have committed a felony.
Well, no,
that's
they've
not
committed
true.
other
That's
felonies.
not true at all. This is the episode where they commit murder.
This is the episode where Dean commits murder, but also they suspect he's dead. So it's like, but anyway.
You know what time it is?
What time?
It's time for Haley's notes.
Haley's notes.
So I have written down that the opening shot was of a pretty knife because it was of a pretty knife.
And I immediately afterwards was like, oh wait, isn't that Dean's knife? And it is.
It is.
We start in media res.
Yes, that is what I wrote after I wrote, we start in media res. Love it.
We love literary, call it?
I don't
devices.
Remember. Yes. Then I wrote, Sam is not lying. He is omitting information.
Oh, yeah, because he emails his Stanford friend still.
Yeah, and he's just like, I'm on a road trip with my big brother. He.
Which technically isn't wrong.
He's not wrong. He's just omitting information. It's fine. He's not lying. I then wrote Chekhov's friends who never come back because it is, this is the episode where it is established that Sam still has contact with his friends from college, and then, like, he never has those friends again because bad things happen. Basically,
yeah, I think this episode it's weird because this is, like, it's episode 6, and this is the first time they establish that Sam has been keeping contact with friends, but by the end of the episode, he's decided to cut off all contact with friends. You'd think that they would make it more of a through line to make it more impactful when he does make the decision to cut off friends.
You'd figure.
Because, like, yes, he almost got Becky killed, but, like, we only just met Becky. And no offense to Becky, she's not the most interesting character. Like,
she's boring.
She's not their most interesting side character.
She's just kind of boring.
I mean, I support her. I support her support for her brother. I do not support her parents.
No. Her parents, and I've made note of this later.
Okay.
As in next, we can talk. I wrote friends' parents are loaded. The friends' parents, Becky's parents are in Paris at their, like, vacation home. And they don't even come home when they find out that their son has been arrested, assumably.
Yeah, that's, like, when you're... She's like, they spend half their year in Paris. And I was like, but they're not going to come home when their son gets arrested for murder?
Uh-huh. No.
I guess not.
They will not. They will not. I've then written Lying 5.0. Dean is a cop. Smiley face. Because Dean is a cop.
She doesn't even ask to see, like, a badge or anything. Sam is just like, oh, yeah, Dean's a cop. And then they mention, like, the place in, like, Arizona that they're supposed to be going. They're currently in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
She doesn't ask to see her badge or anything. She's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, girl.
Yeah. I then wrote, because they then go into the crime scene, and I wrote, they walked into the crime scene with no gloves, lol. And they just leave all their DNA all over everything, because they don't care, and they're stupid.
They didn't even really look at much of the crime scene when you think about it. They, like, kind of walked around the room and, like, looked at a picture of Zach, Sam, and Becky.
Uh-huh.
And, like, left.
Right.
Like, they didn't get anything from that crime scene other than that the blood splatters were just, like, when you just, like, flick paint at a wall.
Yes.
Like, there were some pretty, like... This goes for all of the attacks in this episode, but all the blood splatters were pretty ridiculous. And also, I continuously couldn't find wounds on these people.
Yeah,
like,
we don't know where they were being tortured.
Everywhere. But we don't know, like, their skin has blood on it. And at one point, Becky does appear to have a head wound. But, like, there's blood, like, all over them, but, like, their clothes don't have blood stains. Like, from, like, a big stab wound. So I don't know where the blood's coming from. But anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, I wrote very 2005 women's outfit because was it Lindsay? Lindsay is the second wife who's attacked. And she was wearing this outfit that had, like, this low-cut top that was also, like, had, like, 2 inches of midriff, low-cut pant, and a
floral
chunky
pattern.
belt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it was like it had like it had a very like it had spaghetti straps too. It was very, very 2005.
It was very 2005. I wrote very bad eye effects because the shapeshifter has these white little eyes. They're very fun. And they're very bad. Not bad like scary, bad like not well done.
Sometimes they didn't look too bad. There were a few scenes. The further away you were, the better they looked. Yeah. The closer, the worse.
Like I liked the scene sound effect when you find out that it's Dean.
Yeah, that one looked pretty good. Other ones less good.
Yeah, and the sound effect I have listed 2 down from here, but we can mention it now. Whenever the eyes flick to white, it does this little sound effect that sounds like a snake tongue, like that, you know, kind of.
Yeah, cause there's like 2 flicks. There's like a flick and then a flick that turns it like white.
Yeah.
And it's very strange.
Yeah. I wrote, fucking, what is up with Sam and Becky's? Because I think it's only really Becky later and this Becky. But the fact that there's 2 Beckys, and we talked about this in our reactions, is it's probably just because it's an early season. They picked this basic-ass name and were like, this works, and then forgot about her, and then used Becky, the fanfic girl, later. It's still annoying, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I made note of the really fun scene that I liked a lot, which was when Sam found the blood in the street and there was blood against the wood pole. He just nods his head towards the pole and says, blood. And it was just really funny.
Yeah, and it's really funny because he's like, blood. And Dean's like, it could be a dead end. And immediately an ambulance goes by.
And then they get a call. I've made note of the call that Sam makes to Becky when she's like, that was a sealed crime scene. And I got mad about it because I was like, you know what? You're right. But also, like, you definitely knew this. Why are you getting mad at him now? Like, I then made note of the fact that there are teeth in the pile. In the skin piles, there are teeth in there. There's teeth and nails in there, and it's very gross and very bad and very terrible and awful, and I hate it.
It's bad. It's bad. It's gross, and it's bad. The skin piles are so... Ugh.
Yeah.
They're so gross.
I then wrote, we don't know how Dean got hurt in the sewer, because we don't know how he got hurt in the sewer. We just are told that he hurt his shoulder, but we don't know how he hurt his shoulder.
We don't, because it's like a jump scare where the shapeshifter shows up behind him, and he hurts his shoulder, and you're just like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
But, like, I was thinking, because I was like, oh, he has access to Dean's memories. But then I got confused, because how did the shapeshifter get the second guy? Because the second guy got into his car.
Yeah.
So, like, it's really unclear how this works. Like, I don't understand, like, what the rules of, like, how long a skin can last, what makes a shapeshifter not able to reuse the skin, because even though the shapeshifter says, oh, I'm gonna miss this skin about Dean's, he's already reused it, which he didn't do with anyone else's.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't know how it gets the skin or the memories. Like, unclear lore.
Then I have written, oh my god, they got Dean! Because he got Dean.
Yeah.
And they do the reveal with, like, they go to cross the street, and Dean gets stopped by this car that goes by, and the car catches his eye, and it does a little white eye flash, and I was like, holy shit. It was really good. I liked it. I then wrote Sam Rope, smiley face, because Sam is being held captive by a rope. And immediately after that, I wrote, what was the point of that backhand? Because shapeshifter Dean backhands Sam, and it's like
in a way that, like, looked fake as
it's so
fake.
bad. So that happened. And then I've written, shapeshifter Dean is dwelling on jealousy, because I understand that those are feelings that Dean has, and like I'm pretty sure we go over them multiple times within the series. But also, like, the shapeshifter, I think, was just dwelling so bad on the negative emotions that Dean has, just because he's a monster. But whatever. Then I wrote, be nice.
To who? Wait, who is that?
I think
who is that directed to?
I think I wrote that to the shapeshifter.
Well, that's bad news. It's a serial killer.
Yeah. And then I wrote Dean's quote where he says, he picked the handsome one. And I drew a smiley face, and I wrote, yeah.
That's your one.
That's my one. I just like Dean, that's all.
We know this.
I wrote your quote where I wrote, cool backstory, still murder. Because, that was when he was talking to Becky, and he's like, what if this person's just, like, born as a human, but he's kind of a freak, and he can't be he needs to be somebody else to feel comfortable.
And something about, like, touch and something.
We all need human touch.
And Becky was like, I think you should leave. And then he whispered something, and I wish I knew what he whispered, because she gets, like, she immediately goes from, like, this is uncomfortable, to, like, get out of my house, I'm calling the police.
Yeah, it's really
bad.
Like,
what did you say?
I would love to know it. I would love to know. But we don't know. That's just something we have to deal with forever now. I then wrote, because Sam wants to call the police on Dean, but fake Dean, and Dean's like, you want to put APB out on me? And I was like, what the fuck does APB mean? Because as much as I watch, like, Criminal Minds and stuff, I don't know what APB stands for. So I have concluded that it stands for All-Purpose Boy Hunt.
It does not.
It stands for All-Purpose Boy Hunt. Anyway.
It doesn't.
Anyway.
Oh, okay.
The monster's just horny and misogynistic is what I've decided, because the monster's just like, I need human touch, and people think I'm ugly, but then when girls turn him down, oh my god, the monster's an incel.
Haley.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
The real monster was the incels in us all along.
Jesus Christ. I was gonna say it's too late for this. It's 7 p.m.
Yeah, it's not late.
It's not late, but it is too late for this.
Yeah. Then I wrote, the shedding was very bad. Not bad like not good. Just bad like very ugly, bad, terrifying, scary. I hated it.
If you watch the commentary on that one, we're sorry for any noises we make whenever, like, skin piles or for this scene, because there's, like, a lot of gagging.
And I think I screamed for, like, a solid 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, sorry about it, but also I'm not, because it was very bad.
It's pretty nasty.
And then I wrote down, Dean be like, doesn't listen, because Dean be like, doesn't listen, because Dean doesn't listen to anything.
Yeah.
Then I wrote, way to bring up Jess, Beck, because Beck is like, did Jess know about that? And Sam's like,
oh yeah, this is after they've
like,
finished everything.
And then I wrote Joe College, because I thought it was really funny when Dean said that he wishes that Sam could be Joe College. I just thought that was funny.
I also wish Sam could be Joe College.
I think we all wish Sam could be Joe College.
Shout out to that one fic where Sam is Joe College.
Wow. Very good. So that's all my notes today.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this is a pretty cut and dry episode. It's nothing stellar. It's kind of gross. We can't crack ship anyone. There were, like, no background characters.
No, there was Becky.
Yes, who doesn't interact with anyone else. There was the wife and her husband who are married.
They're married.
Now, definitely not.
Yeah.
And those are the only... And then there was the random jogger lady who was outside who was like, I used to see the man who almost killed his wife but didn't. Like, every day on his way to work, he would always smile and wave. He seemed so nice.
Right.
And those, like, that, like, this was very minimalistic on even
Here's
just,
mine.
Like, characters standing in the background.
Hey, here's mine. The jogger lady gets together with Lindsay, and she helps her cope with everything that happened to her. That's mine.
I'll take it.
Thank you.
Brought to you by this episode. I can't tell which ones are in this because it's really hard to tell, even using this website.
I figured out one. Because the one I figured out is, this episode is brought to you by Mary by the Death Riders. It plays while the shapeshifter is shedding its Dean skin in the sewer.
Disgusting.
And it's, like, talking about being a freak show. And the lyrics specifically, I don't want to be a freak show pretty boy anymore.
I commented on that.
I also think that it's very funny because the episode, the song's name is Mary, which is the name of the Winchester's dead mother. Woo!
I'm gonna say it's brought to you by Good Deal by Mommy and Daddy because that's that. I guess that's in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to bring it to you by that's not grammar. I also want to bring up that song because in the TV/DVD version, that song is Inagata Devita, which is tied to my favorite thing on the wiki because my favorite thing on the wiki doesn't work with Netflix. So this song, Inagata Devita, it says the song playing in the pre-titled teaser, Inagata Devita, may be an homage to the 1986 film Manhunter, in which the same song is background music to a very similar scene. Manhunter was the first film to feature the character Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a character Dean references on multiple occasions, which is a fun cultural reference and would be a very nice Easter egg, except for the fact that when going to Netflix, they had to change the song.
I really wish they didn't have to, but you know what? I guess I can deal with that.
I do too, because I'm still annoyed that we didn't get to hear Sugar You're Going Down in the last episode.
I'm pissed about it. And my favorite thing on Wikipedia is within the international title section, the French title for this episode is Faux Frère, which means false brother. I just really like that. I think that's very fun.
I was gonna say that ruins the plot twist, but they literally show you within, like, the first, 2 minutes that, yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Haley.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you think we're gonna see some hooks in the next episode?
I think we're gonna see some hook, hand, man, car, door action.
I'm pretty sure I think it's man.
Oh, fuck. Man,
door,
hook,
hand.
Man, hand, hook. Man, door, hand, hook, car, door.
Is that it?
I don't know.
Man, door, hand, hook, car, door. Yes,
yeah,
that's, yes.
I Googled it.
Now that I've said that, that's, yes.
Yeah.
The next, that's, we're gonna have to not just continuously say that in the next episode, but it's gonna be really hard not to.
Man, door, hand, hook, car, door.
Yeah, that's the question.
That's the question.
That's the question.
Then we'll catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side.